Hello, my name is Dieter and welcome to Win Some Loosemore, a YouTube channel dedicated to the hobby of board games. You join me today for a little top picks list as we head into the holidays. Some of you may already be on holiday, but I thought it would be good to look at a category that isn't huge for us. As if you watch our channel, you know there's mostly just two-player games in our collection. We have a lot of those. Probably a third of our games are either two-player only or best at two, because we play predominantly that. But what I thought I would look at today is games that are good for groups, for larger groups. My criteria for this is they need to play at least 6 players, and I think all of mine do that. I've only got 5 to show you today, bit shorter, bit quicker, so you can get on with relaxing on your holiday. But these are games that should be available, that are great fun for a wide range of people. These aren't big heavy games. I'm not suggesting, hey, get Scythe and get the expansion so you can play 6 and 7 player. Nothing like that. Just these are fun, easy games that you could play with your family or friends that come around either for Christmas if you celebrate it, New Year, but any kind of gathering setting. But these are ones worth thinking about. I need to make one apology on the first one, a very popular game, a party game called Codenames. My apology is I have the one and only one version of Codenames that doesn't qualify for this list, but I'm using this box just to typify it for you. So Codenames, normal Codenames, or Pictures, or there's now Disney and Marvel, take your pick. Is a team game, so this could be 3 versus 3, 4 versus 4. It could be, I don't even know that there's a limit to it. I wouldn't say really more than 8, because you might not all get a go at doing all the parts, but there's a layout of cards, I don't know how to better phrase it, each with either a word or a picture on, depending on which version you've got. And one person from each team are the clue givers, and so they can see which of the ones on the board belong to them, which ones belong to their opponent's team, and which one is like an assassin that you just immediately lose. And so they have to come up with a clue that is only one word, and then they say a number to tell their team how many cards that clue relates to, and then their team has to work together to try and guess the right ones that are your color, either red or blue. And it's just the first team to do that wins the round, and then swap over who's giving clues, and then everybody can have a go, and it is good fun. I've gone off it a little bit, but that's okay. As I say, the one we've got is a cooperative 2-player. It says 2-player plus, but we play it as, again, because there's just the 2 of us, so not duet, but Codenames, which is words, Pictures, which is weird abstract pictures, or Disney, Marvel. I'm sure there may even be others by now, but Codenames is a really good pick for. It's got a lot of people into the modern style board games. It's good fun. It gets people talking, still got that sense of competition, so people are engaged, and it's interesting watching how different people think. You sat there as a clue giver going, oh, this is obviously those things, and they go, oh, but what about this, and go on weird tangents that you're sitting there furiously, you're not allowed to say anything else, going like, why would you think that, don't think that, and then they might get it right, but it doesn't matter. And if somebody guesses the assassin, you lose. But good Codenames. So as I say, that's probably 6 to 8 people. That's really good. You can do 4, that works. But 6 to 8. If you want, so that's teams. So if we're going all out competitive, I would say bang the dice game. This is 3 to 8 players, and you just take it in turns. You're all against each other, rolling some dice that have different images on, and you're just trying to kill everybody else. But then there are roles and different factions that you could be part of. You could be the sheriff, which everybody knows, so that all the bad people are trying to kill you, but then you could be the deputy, which is trying to protect the sheriff, and all these things. But apart from the sheriff, every role is secret, only you know. You might be an outlaw, and the outlaws win if the sheriff is killed. or you could be a renegade who's just trying to be the last person standing. So everybody is killing everybody, and yet there's this subtlety of who do you attack, who do you go for? Do I just sit here healing myself? There's another mechanic where if arrows appear, you have to take them, and once all the arrows are gone, everybody that has at least one loses as many hit points as arrows they've taken. And so this happens, but everybody gets a character. So there's just more and more layers to this that just make it more and more fun. It's way simpler than potentially I'm making it sound, but a lot of fun. I've introduced this to a number of different groups who somebody's immediately gone out and bought it because it's just that much fun. Yeah, 6 to 8 again is great. This plays down to 3 or 4, but 6, 7, 8 is a lot of fun. A lot of people laughing at the table, and even if you're knocked out, somebody kills you, the games are like 10 minutes long. You're not going to be waiting, and it's still funny to watch everything else. There's an expansion which adds kind of a ghost character, so if you're the first person to be killed, you're not actually out, you can do other stuff. So there is more that you can get to it, but just the base game alone, lots of good characters, powers, good fun. We really like it. Bang the dice game. If you're less concerned about interacting so much with other people and more just wanting to build your own thing, Sushi Go Party, or Sushi Go, or Sushi Roll if you have a smaller group. But Sushi Go Party is for, again, 3 to 8, I believe. Yep, 2 to 8. Okay, I wouldn't recommend it with 2. Sushi Roll or something for that. But Sushi Go Party is a card drafting game where you choose, there's a board in which to put your sushi menu, which is really nice. There's these slots. The game comes with loads of different cards that you could put in, so it's different every time. You start out with all of those shuffled together, everybody gets a certain number of cards, and then you just spend turns going, I want this one, and then you pass the hand to your left on one round, right to the other. You get the cards somebody's passed you, and you pick one and move along, pick one, move along. And so the interaction is more about paying a little bit of attention to the people around you, but you are basically trying to do your best to score the best points that you can. Again, it's fast, it's simple. The number of players doesn't really affect how long it takes because everyone's just building their own thing. And so that's a really simple thing. But as I say, Sushi Go Party comes with all this variety built into the game. Its originator, if that's the word, predecessor, I don't know. Sushi Go, it's a small little tin, well worth buying. If that's your budget, £5-10, brilliant, go get it. It's great fun. But it's the same cards every game that you play. Sushi Go Party suddenly adds in all these other things, and so there's a lot of variety. You'll have a lot of fun with a lot of people. Sushi Go Party. If you like the idea of drafting, but don't just want to focus on your own thing, it does matter to you what's going on around you, then there are a couple of games either between two cities, or in this case between two castles from Stonemaier Games. Again, a drafting game, but you're drafting little tiles, so it's the same concept. You've got your hand of them, you choose one, or you choose 2 in this case, and then you pass it along. But instead of just adding that card, or like Sushi Go Party, just adding that one card to your set of points, you are constructing kind of, if you cut a building down the middle, and you can see all the different rooms and how they're structured, you're building a castle or a city in that kind of structure, and so you're trying to work out where to place all these rooms and how they relate to others, and each of them scores in a different way. But unlike Sushi Go Party, as I say, where you're just doing your own thing, now you're actually doing 2 things. So on your turn, you're choosing 2 tiles, one that I'm building with the person on my left, and one I'm building with the person on my right. So we're each contributing a tile to those 2 castles in this case. And so there's a lot of communication. You've got to deal with both people. You don't have your own thing. There's nothing in front of you. There's one thing to each side. And so again, it doesn't matter how many people there are because it's drafting. It doesn't really matter. Again, I think this one's 3 to 7. Yep, up to 7. I've certainly played with 6. Have I played with 7? Don't remember, but definitely with 6, and it was just as fun as it was at 4, because I say, but possibly even more, because the atmosphere is just that much more lively, because lots of people are talking. So if you want a slightly bigger, slightly heavier game, Between Two Cities, or we've got Between Two Castles of Madkin Ludwig by Stonemaier and Bezier Games, well worth checking out. A very underrated game in my opinion. Excuse me, that's the box. Very underrated in my opinion. And then a game that nobody should be surprised that I'm putting on if you've seen any of our videos. The lightest game on this list, the simplest game on this list, and yet some of the most fun I've ever had with gaming. No Thanks. Have I got it the right way up? Yes, thank goodness. No Thanks. Again, 3 to 7 players, nice and simple. All you do is, whoever's turn it is, you flip a card and you decide, do I want it or no, thanks. And you put a little chip on it, and chips are worth negative points, and it's like golf, you want as low a score as possible. And eventually someone has to take the card with the number on, and they're going to score as many points as that card is worth, which is bad. But it'll come with all the chips on that everyone put in it, which is good. And so it's this just mental battle of when to take what card. And then they throw a little spanner in the works saying every consecutive number that you collect, only the lowest one scores. So I might start off getting the 32, which is really bad. I think it only goes up to 33 or 35. That's really bad. And then so everyone's laughing and thinking you've done terribly, but you've probably gained 12 chips or so because loads of people passed. And then the 31 might come up, and still nobody wants that. No one wants to take that gamble of stopping you getting it, so they start throwing chips on it, so you take it, so you're gaining more chips, and you've just minused one of your points. And so this could chain and chain and chain, but it's always a gamble. Some cards are not in each round, so a lot of replayability, a lot of fun. It's very simple. Yes, it might feel a little samey, but excellent fun every time. Very funny every time. Someone thinks they've figured out how to play, you shuffle the cards, you get rid of 9, you play again, and it probably goes terribly for them. So excellent fun. No Thanks. Those are 5 just very simple suggestions. There are many, many others. These are just the ones that I could pull out from our collection and our experience. Do add a comment saying, giving your suggestions of games that you would play with large groups over holidays, friends, family, that kind of thing. Thank you very much for watching. Do follow this channel, subscribe to it, hit the bell icon so you stay notified. Follow us on social media. Just search Win Some Loosemore on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and you will find us. I will see you again up in Dieter for Win Some Loosemore. Have a great holiday. Goodbye.